Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fish. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. Over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're also going to cover your future marine forecast, your moon phase, and tide charts. Everything you need to know to help you keep in the bite. To get into this, though, if you about fishing, grow as an angler, to see some great and exciting offshore fishing adventures, you start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Salt Fishing. All right, folks, we got one closure happening from the FWC. It already happened. This started June 1st. It is the closure of Gulf State Waters gray triggerfish. Sorry, it's late. It's already in effect. They closed June 1st. So if you are in Gulf State Waters, gray triggerfish is closed until July 31st. So a couple of months, not too long, and then you can get back to harvesting. That's that for that. Now let's start getting into what everyone has caught. It's been a couple of weeks. We're out of town, but now we're back. So we're going to go over, a little bit of everything, see what everyone has caught over the last couple of weeks. The big thing still that's running is the mahi and tuna run, obviously, for the summer. Let's go over this, right? So we got inshore fish right here, Big Jack pounder, John Schmidt. This is what he says is his personal best. 8.82, 9 pounds. Yeah, good to go. On a wire leader too, it looks like. Hey, cool. Good deal. Nice big fish. It's on. That's pretty funny right there. It's on. I don't get the scribble out of the face. Anyway, my bad for laughing. A little bit of comedy. All right, let's see what else everybody else has got. This is from, let's see if there's any inshore fish from last week. The same picture with the kid's face, not scribbled out. Gary Danton actually got took the kids out fishing. They went and they got on it. Says anything about it. That's the same Jack. Fishing is team sport, hooked up, so they're doing all their own. Good to see you, Dean. Thanks for showing up, and hello, thank you. All right, yeah, kids are rigging up their own reels, taking the hooks out of the fish's mouth, and weighing them and getting them back in the water before they do any undoable damage. Perfect. That's always good. When the kids learn how to do it right and take care of them. Let's see if there's any other inshore stuff going on here. This week. That's from last week. Now we'll check this week. And we'll go over the weather. We've got some interesting stuff going on with the weather. Here we go. Daniel got this nice, finally got one time and it paid off. Got surf and tackle for Turner Tubes. Got this guy on the peak. So there we go. Nice permit. Surf fishing. You put in the great to see you back. I'm the one in the blue that landed it. Hey, awesome. Wait, what did you land? The Jack? Anyway, yes, nice permit. Awesome fish right there from the beach. Good deal, good deal. Let's go and look at this week. Okay, good job on that Jack. Perfect, man. Hey, learning the time rigs and whole deal is what fishing's all about. Having someone, do it. So, great to see that you're getting in on that aspect of it. Alrighty. Let's see any other stuff. No, most of it is all offshore. Sorry for the uhs and ohs. Here we go. Out of Alaska, Captain Alex from Marathon. He's in Alaska for the summer, showing off, his slabs of halibut that he is catching. Where they're got to show it off, hey, nice catch. It's a saltwater fish. It's just, miles away. So let's go over. Like we said, right, folks, it is mahi tuna season right now. So if you're not getting in on that bite, they're going to start getting real small, and it's going to be real tough. Now, we've had dust blow through this past weekend, which rain clouds. We're going to get another pass through this coming weekend, but the wind is going to be blowing a little bit. Just food for thought when it comes to planning your trips. So, all right. So we got, there's our Jack, Sean Saunders out on his jet ski, man, lacing into the mahi, doing the work, going and fighting. He's getting out there, getting caught in storms and everything. He's actually posting almost everything he's got. Here he is getting, riding around in the storm. Interesting. Said the bite was terrible this day. This was June 1st. And then he, so this would have been May. He went out and got chased by a storm. He said after the storms passed by, the mahi bite turned on. That's that for that. And here's a little bit of that action right here. We found something floating out there, around 800 or so, and he showed up. You can see it right there. Got that hook up.
Brought him back. Got him back.
Oh, that's so he's putting in. He's traveled up before. He goes out 1,000 feet on a jet ski. So that's good distance offshore, and putting in the work, getting it done. Sean, congratulations, and thanks for keeping us in the know. Paul, here we go. Like I said, the tuna bite and the mahi, what we're looking at, right? And they went out and they got there's in the mix. So that's what you do, right? You go out, you hit the fillet way out. Right now, I can tell you right now, the are being found in 1,000 to 1,500 feet. I went out this weekend. I started looking for them in like 600, nothing. Hit 1,000 feet, started getting the bites. Now, there are some peanuts out there, but around 1,200 feet was where we were finding the best size ones. South 1,500, they're getting a little smaller. 1,200, 1,250, that's this weekend. So that's where they were. And then, once the sun gets up, around 11 o'clock, you go in and you do a couple deep drops, grab some tile fish, and head back home. So got the blackfins, the butterballs are swimming, the schoolie dolphin are around. Every once in a while, I'm seeing good ones. I'm also hearing lots of fish action going on. People are hooking them, all that goodness. So let's go over last matches, and then we'll talk about this week's. Jim from 4J's Charters out of Boynton Beach, this solid reef donkey, also known as an amberjack. I actually saw the video of this young lady catching it, and she did a great reel with instructions. Jim runs 4J's Charters out of Boynton Beach. So if you're looking for he's got a ton of photos of what you can expect to catch when he goes out there and puts you on the fish. Solid, guy to head offshore with if you're looking to get the action. If you can't get in touch with him, get in touch with me, and I can put you in touch with him. Again, 4J's Charters out of Boynton Beach, and you can expect the action and expect. All right, see, and here we go. Sebastian up a little bit north. Nice kingfish. Let's see what he's oh, this is tournament fishing, so and take it home, fire up the smoker. Most people smoke their kingfish and make fish dip. I do a little bit of everything else with it. All right, Richard. Again, Richard goes out of Jupiter. He is our local false albacore population control. Went out yesterday. Jupiter ran away from the weather, wound up fishing off Lake Worth. White bucktail jig, pink turtle. Bonita population control, exactly, with his daughter. Feet, they're lacing into the bonitas. So, hey, they're getting in on the action, having some fun, plenty of bait, plenty of food, and good to go. Baz got on the countertop, ready to fillet up. Perfect. There we go. Like I said, it's dolphin time, folks. Get out there when the weather's we're starting to have weather windows, so just keep that in mind. We had a great window this past weekend. Both days were good, and they were dry too. Aaron does. Jason Reese, Guggen the Pro Offshore Angler YouTube channel. Here he is. It looks like he's got in on the kingfish and the butterball. Well, that guy's stretching his arms out because Jason makes them. It's only a secret. Still, they got a nice, couple 3 kings and blackfin tuna, right, folks? That's what right now we got. They ran out in the middle of the day Saturday, ran into the storm. Yeah, I'm hearing that from last weekend. All 4 of these fish hit the same thing. A number 4 planer with a pink zoom witch, a flash witch, and he uses artificial baits known as nita strips, pink nita strip, all between 100 feet and 190 from Fort Lauderdale to Fairfield. So he headed south towards Port Everglades out of Hillsborough. All fish get long-armed on my boat, he says. And I always, that's a little back and forth inside joke. Anyway, Sherry Dunham, good day. 4 keepers, 6 in the boat. Yeah, that's about typical, right? Some keeper, you're going to get some that you throw back. All about the same size, 94 inches. So yeah, those ones that it's a heartbreaker when you pull up a dolphin. And you're like, oh man, it's just shy as 19. But get them back in the water. You don't want any, the FWC. I've seen them people's boats. They got Jason Reese this last weekend, the Guggen the Pro Offshore Angler. So you just don't want to be caught with undersized fish. I get it that you're putting in money and everything, and you don't want to throw back a fish that's just a little shy, but they disagree with that. Found a good weed line, 950, and killed it. Another weed line at 1250. So that's what I remember what I said, 1200, 1250-ish. That's where the good size dolphin have been showing up, and they're sticking around. They were there the past weekend. Now they were there also this weekend that just happened. Everything on ballyhoo. Okay, so artificials, ballyhoo are working, and also there's lots of big clumped up weed patches. There's not lines, there's scattered weeds. So if you're trolling, you're going to be picking off weeds. You can also go out there and live bait them up. Just just be worried that the Almaco jacks are going to eat half your bait. They're very vicious. It was a good day when you run out of bait and you use all your ice. Correct. There we go. James Thompson got a nice. These are called snakes. These are the ones that are, just legal size. They're great. They're tender meat. These are the best eating ones. Those giant, 40-pound kingfish are, yeah. You get where I'm coming from. You got to throw them on the smoker with lots of wood. Here we go, Alex, with a water taxi captain. Awesome. They got in on a ton of blackfin and a few false albacore. So they did good. They got all of its tuna, right? Some of it's bait, some of it's eating stuff. Most, the false albacore aren't too bad to eat, the little guys, but the bigger ones that bait, man, that's very fishy. And Dean, last Wednesday morning, kids wanted to fish, wasn't out long, hooked up early on this barracuda, trolling in a $1.50. Just right there to eating size. That's good. The barracuda, the bigger barracudas, you don't really want to mess with them. They could be sick with ciguatera. The smaller ones like this, 10 pounds and under, I say, is your general thing for barracuda. Throw them in the boat, take them home. They're great to eat. Yeah, people complain they're slimy and they stink, which is true, but the meat, when you cook it, is delicious. A telltale sign here, since we're here looking at barracuda, ever unsure of whether or not it has ciguatera, the way to tell is when you are at the dock cleaning it. If the flies do not bother you and land on it, it's got ciguatera. Throw it in the water or use it as bait. If the flies land on it, you're fine. That is how you tell if your fish has ciguatera. That goes along with the cubera snapper and the larger groupers that you find on these wrecks. They can have it too, along with barracuda. But so just keep that in mind. You need to know if your fish has ciguatera. But congratulations, young lady, on that nice barracuda. All right, now let's I miss anything else? Sorry, I'm really flying through this. We got 2 weeks worth of stuff to go. Went up to Tennessee last week and saw a bunch of bears. James Montgomery, like I said, here, folks, it's dolphin season. You know, you get the little guys that are right at 20, keep them. There's nothing wrong with it. They're able to reproduce, keep those 20 inchers. Get them on. He got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, and then, you know, like I said, you know, when I went out this past weekend, the inchers were 1,000 feet and beyond in like 1,500. The bigger ones that tended to be, you know, 24 inches or so, they were right in that 50 zone. But you got to put in the work. They're not just freebies, but they're out there. What did he say? Got 8. Got off to a start, back at the dock by 11:30. Lost 1 donkey and a flipper. Did see a couple of sailfish. Like I said, I'm getting reports that people are seeing them and they're catching them. Caught 1 cuda. Gulfstream was 3.5 miles northeast of Boynton today. Loaded with nice concentrations, tons of currents and rips. Yep, I'm seeing it out there. As like, I agree with this report right here. When I headed out offshore, there's tons of rip currents going on, and it's not that flat spot that you see that's laying down the ocean because there's seaweed on one ledge of it. It's tons of different current shifts. So, you know, you fish those. That's why I started looking for fish in 600, but I didn't find anything. Lots of fun out of Boynton on the Blame James. That's his boat. I like that. That's pretty good. All right. There we go. An inshore catch. Then and look at this week. All right. Like I said, this past weekend, everybody was out there getting them, and we're just going to roll through it. This is Yasmini, Palm Beach. Like I said, to 1,700, they're saying 5. That's what you got to do, and it's true. You get out there, and they load it up. You see the bigger one, right? There it is, but you got, you know, they're out there, you know, the 10-plus pounders, the ones that you got to have to stick a gap in, but you're going to have to be in the right place at the right time. Other than that, it's the that are taking over. And if you stay closer inshore between 200 and 300, that we'll find in the blackfin tuna. Brandon, here we go. Sailfish. I believe he said he got 2 of them. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Nice sailfish right there. I believe I'm not sure. He said he doubled up, which to me, that means 2 at one time, that's a trick and a half to get 2 sailfish going on. Here is my outing. I went out with Josh and his wife, Lourdes. Like I said, right here in the comment, found the dolphin between 1,000 and 100, and then around 11 o'clock, headed in and went and did some towel fishing. Ended up with a nice one. This towel fish right here that you see over here, actually meaty as a couple of the dolphin. So yeah, you know, get out there and what you can expect to catch. This is a typical outing that I do at this time of year. I go out, try and find some dolphin and tuna, and then, you know, come in for about an hour and do about 3 or 4 drifts for towel fish. And to me, everybody asks, what's your favorite fish to eat? And I say towel fish. Now, that doesn't mean that's my favorite fish to eat. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Brad, got a few out of Jupiter to 350. So a couple of dolphin and a nice little butterball tuna. So there you go, man. Great. That's what you can expect this time of year. And this one actually looks like a pompano dolphin. So if you ever want different species of dolphin, yes, there are. There's dolphin fish, and then there's pompano dolphin. They actually look very similar to a pompano. It's kind of laying down, so you can't tell. Richard, again, going out with his daughter, making more meat out of the false albacore, doing population control for everyone. Once again, I'm making life easier for every other angler by Bonita population control. Caught them in 75 to 90 feet out of Jupiter. White bucktail jig, pink turbo hammer. Got 15 and a blue runner in under 2 hours. Yeah, they're pretty thick right now. Vicious, and he says thank you. He is doing some catching, not fishing. Isn't that what we all strive for? Congratulations, Richard. And, you know, he's always bringing the kids out, getting them involved. And, you know, if you got them, do it. If they're willing to do it, and, you know, get them hooked while they're young. And there you go. Lots of blood, lots of fish, lots of fun. All right. Gwen, she hit a whopper of a grouper. her comment is, come to the Keys, they say. Catch big fish, they say. Not so much. A slow 3 days fishing. And, you know, hey, it happens. It's unfortunate. Sometimes they're there and you put in the work and they're just not there. And, you know, sorry, you know, humans laugh at other misery, but I think went for, you know, posting to catch, even though that fish is smaller than her hand. All right, let's see. $1.50 out of Hollywood. What do we got here? I tried looking at this earlier. It was on my phone. I couldn't. That's kingfish. All right, good. I wasn't wrong. All right, very good. You got the kid out on the boat getting in the kingfish action. Said $1.50, I think, out of Hollywood. So down there, you know, out of whatever, like the kings are swimming. So you know, it's that time of year too. At full moon, which happens right now, as a couple days before, a couple days after, that mackerel bite turns on, that wahoo bite, that they'll tend to chew a little better, and you know, this is what it is. So if you're not into, you know, I would say if you want to go look for dolphins, you're going to have to run offshore. So don't try and be like, oh, we're going to go get it, maybe a kingfish or a reef real quick. Look for dolphin. You're going to end up killing a good part of the day and having to hunt down the dolphin, and you might be a little bit less successful. Gary, with the kids having fun on the false albacore. There we go. You know, like I said, get them involved, and here we go. They, you know, get them out there. False albacore are some of the hardest fighting fish that there are. They're tuna. There's no swim bladder, so they're always swimming, which means they're super strong. Get out there and get them. Jason Reese, again, stretching out his arms, showing you, but this is actually a nice tuna. I saw it with the other ones. 10 blackfin on Sunday between Boynton and Delray, 220 to 280. Like I said, in between 200 and 300 if you're looking for the tuna right now. Troll from on planers, live bait them, jig them up. You'll get out there. Down deeper, that's where the bigger tuna are. Up towards the surface is where the smaller footballs are hanging out. They hit every spread with the biggest fish, like the one picture. Hit a long 4 planer and pink zoom witch, flash witch, and pink Nita strip. That's his go-to thing right now. He's having success with it, so you know, you don't fix what's broken. A couple of other nice picks below, and ended the day with an FWC boarding. Like I said, you know, the F right now, so don't be surprised if they do a random checkup. Make sure you're in compliance with your fish and with your safety gear on your boat. And that you are licensed too. Don't forget your fishing license. All right, good job, Jason. Always, you know, posting. Check out his YouTube channel. Tons of knowledge. Great guy. Family fishing, family fun, and you know, you might learn something. Anyway, all right. Bill says nothing crazy, but he got my daughter on a nice little 1-inch scamp out of Fort Pierce. So a little bit up north. A little bit of grouper action. Hey, good deal, man. Going home and having some grouper sandwiches. And the little young lady looks very happy with her catch. All right, we got Mike. A couple of mahi and a nice fat blackfin out of Marathon. Oh. Yep, so they got the pump. And well, they're nice places to fish out there. Sometimes they're packed. It's a very well-known destination for charter captains to keep company, so you know you have to deal with that aspect of it and figuring out the learning curve, how to really fish those humps. But hey, they got in on the dolphin and the nice tuna. He says blackfin. Is that a blackfin? I mean, it almost looks like a skipjack, but hey, who knows? My eyes are bad. All right. Hey, congratulations. Catch, Mike. Let's hear David. Look. Big old girl right there, the cow dolphin. That's a solid. This one, as you can see right here, they have to stick the gaff in it to get it up over the gunnels and in the boat. You know, hey, solid fish, great eats, and great day, even if that was the only thing they got. Awesome fish. Congratulations, David. We saw Alex and his giant whale of a... Here we have Carlos. Getting in on the mutton action. So, you know, hey, this is some reef action other than trolling offshore. So your kingfish, you know, mutton snapper, you're going to drift over your reef ledges. You know, 150 feet, find structures, your deep wrecks, get you nice keeper-sized muttons. So a little secret about muttons, when they're pink like this, when you get the green ones with they call it a greenback, that are in shallower in places like the Patry Fault. Ray, Saturday, Miami off Key Biscayne, 800 feet trolling ballyhoo. He got a nice cuda. Again, these are the cudas that you can take home and eat. They are perfectly great. Don't count it out. Now, here's what's happened. And this is not an out of the ordinary phenomenon. While you are trolling dolphin, yes, you will pick off cuda. Don't be surprised when it happens. Don't be surprised as the summer grows on that the barracuda become thicker. They are not going anywhere anytime soon. So, do your part and keep these ones. They are perfectly good to eat. And let's look at Jason. He's got a full of blackfin right here. This outing where they went and they, caught the definitely. These are, like I said, the little footballs are more towards the surface. The bigger guys are down deep. And he definitely got a handful of them. Here we go, Jim again. 4J Charters with that reef donkey. Gotta love it. Jason Reese and our friendly FWC officer on the boat. His fish count and that they do just to make sure you are in compliance and have paid your taxes, and your boats, and you're not taking illegal fish. So as you can see, the one tuna that he had that he was showing off is definitely one of those sizable that are hanging down deep. The other little guys are up towards the surface, so you pick them off trolling, baiting up on the surface. You got to get down there a little bit to get those bigger ones. And I'm just speaking from experience. I'm not saying that that's the hard fact that it's impossible. The bigger ones do show up top, but more often than not, they're down deeper. Gene, nice kingfish going on right here. Not a monster, which means that's going to be tender meat, good, not too oily, not too fishy. One of them perfect catches. Kingfish getting out there, get them on the grill and make it happen. Again, Jason, fist full of blackfin. Some great pictures. You gotta love them when you can hold 2 handfuls of fish by your tail one time. And Mike, Bermuda on a boat that they were going out to do a marlin tournament. And I told him he should have been the guy on the reel, but that's you don't own the boat. Politics can get complicated, but hey, is what it is. They got a wahoo. They went out a couple days fishing out of Bermuda, got a wahoo on mackerel colored Nomad DTX 220, my favorite size, and that's a good size fish too. So hey, at least you got to get out to Bermuda on a boat, which is, it's darn close to. They left from North Carolina, so it's like 700-800 miles away by boat, man. That's a heck of a trek. All right, congrats, Mike. And time they'll let you fish the tournament. I think they should have. Mike's always a great angler, and he's got his act together. He can catch some fish. All right, so that's what we got going on. We've had a very long fish report. Let's get into the weather, knock it out, and let people get on with their lives. So, like I said, we had Saharan dust this past weekend. We're going to have more this weekend. And this past weekend, the wind was like non-existent both days. The ocean was like a lake, especially the further offshore you got. There was a little bump over the reef until you got out to about 500-600, and then it dead flat. Nothing. Super hot out there. So windy. Like I said, we're going to have some tropical moisture right now. Let me see. Right out here, there's some high pressure. It's going to move a little bit north, which will allow the dust and to come back in. But before that, we're going to have some rain chances over the next couple of days. After that, another plume of dust comes in, that'll dry the sky right out. So, over the weekend, we're looking nice. For the next couple of days, the chance of rain increases. All right, so let's look at this right now. This is right now. Let's look at tomorrow morning. We got winds. So this This website right here is windy, right? All the websites we're going to use right now are in the description. If you're brand new to the channel, check them out, copy paste and use them at your discretion. And just remember, these are forecast models. They are not facts of life. Forecasts change, hour by hour. So just, be sure to use this, all your tools at your disposals, and use your webcams, your inlet cams, all that goodness to really tell what's going on out there. Windy is very cool. If you're on a PC, what you can do is you look at it. Down here's a color-coded chart. You see we're in the green. That's between 10 and 20 miles an hour. You can also click on any specific spot. Let's say we want to figure out what the wind is between Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. Click there, and it'll tell you 12 knots from the southeast. So that's a good thing about being on a PC. It's a little different on a phone, but if you're on, you've got these capabilities for you. So right now, this is tomorrow morning, and it's pretty windy, 12 knots coming from the southeast all the way up. The further north you get, it looks around, tends to peter out. That's in the morning. That is, the sun. Down in Keys, middle Keys, the lower Keys, they look to be a little less, but they're southeast winds, 9 knots. So not bad there yet, but the wind's going to slowly pick up. That window of calm air is this week. All right. Tampa Bay Skyway Bridge, Skyway Pier guys looking good. They got there on the leeward side. Look at a little wind. Everglades National Park. That's tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon. Looks like the wind shifts. Down south, it looks like it lays down a little bit and tends to pick up the more north you go. We're looking about the same all day from the southeast, 9, 8 knots. Yep. It looks like it lays down a little bit up in the Palm Beach to Fort Lauderdale area. 8 knots down in Miami. Same thing. Southeast winds. Southeast wind is a good wind. It pushes all of our debris in. It gets the seaweed and junk floating around out there so that you're something to fish under when you're looking for dolphin. Up a little bit up north, looks like we've got some convection going on, some spinning in the atmosphere, but nevertheless, there's tropical moisture that'll be up there, but it's held off by the high pressure out here, and it'll go away as the week continues, starting late Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday morning, looks like the wind picked up, so we're going to have this, again, the same thing happening, 10, 11, southeast, so our winds are picking up. Oh, I didn't mean that. Come on. There we go. 10 knots all the way up the coast. Down in the Keys, looks like it picks up to about 12 from the east. So they're going to have some elevated winds. So, the rest of the week is looking pretty windy. West Coast guys, they'll be easier because the leeward side of the island, which there are 3 feet of water, state waters will be very flat. Down in the lower Keys, from the southeast, so it's not getting any lighter. It's staying pretty. Oh crap, thanks. I went over a couple of days. Typical me. Thanks Dean. I'm already on Thursday. Anyway, so all right, yeah, here we'll go back tomorrow. Windy, 12 south afternoon, lightens up a little bit. I'd have kept going. Thursday morning, again, 10, 12 knots all the way up the coast. As you get further north, Vero and north St. Lucie, it's light work. But again, we've got elevated weather happening all over the place. Down in Miami, look, 10 knots from. So it's going to be bumpy out there, and we'll see what happens with the wave heights and the wave period. Thursday afternoon, not much has changed. 10, 12 knots coming from the southeast, 10 knots. Same stuff, all West Coast looking the same. Lower Keys, 13. So they're sticking out in the middle of the Florida Straits there. All right, Friday, 7 a.m. for more elevated winds. Let's see if we're up by Palm Beach County. 12 knots about the same. Our wind is looking at around 12-ish for the whole week. Upper Keys 14, lower Keys. And again, if you see this, it says knots when you're looking at windy. It's a knot is 1.1 miles an hour, so there's not much difference. All right, Friday afternoon. Again, not much changes. Saturday morning, again, we're still looking at elevated winds, about the same, 10 and 12 knots all day, every day this week. Even in the park, have your water's going to get a little cloudy because the wind is ripping straight across the Keys. All right, that's Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon doesn't look like it's much light now, but it lets up a little bit on the west coast, but the wind's shifting to the south. All the way up our coast, we've got, 12 southeast still. Down in Miami, it looks like it lets up a little bit, but that's just an area where it's let up periodically. It's not a consistent thing. Saturday morning, more of the same. So again, folks, the weather, the wind, look at BOCA Sunday morning, 9 knots from the southeast. So we're going to have some bumpy seas and stuff, and we'll see what they're going to say about it here. 5 p.m. Sunday, not much has changed. Into next week, Monday, it looks like which is good. We've got 7 knots from Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale area. The Keys, they're looking at 10 knots. So it's a little lighter the more up the coast you go. Vero area, 6 knots, 6 way up the east coast. But the further you get down to the lower Keys, it looks like it picks up about 10 knots. So yeah, not bad. Tampa Bay looking pretty light the whole week. So that's what we got going on there. Monday afternoon, about the same. Not much changes. 8, 9 knots from. So it's morning pick as that onshore breeze comes on in the afternoon. And again, we're in summer, so think about that. We're going to have that weather pattern when you'll see storms offshore in the morning, and then they'll come on shore. They'll form over the masses. Tuesday, inshore not looking too bad in the morning. 4 knots from the southeast, and I'm sure it'll pick up as we head into the afternoon. Not too bad. It's looking like it's going to lay down. And just for giggles, let's look at Wednesday morning. Not too bad Wednesday. Change. So starting next week, Tuesday next week, it looks like it might calm down just a hair, just enough, and we'll try and follow and see what the trend is with next week's report, and see if next weekend's going to be a little lighter than this coming weekend. So let's go back now and look at the waves, and we'll head to tomorrow. Tomorrow they're saying 2-foot seas at a period of 4 seconds in the morning, which is good. You can get out there still and do it if you can. And down in the Keys, it's a little same thing. 2-foot waves from the east at 4 seconds. That's all over. Everglades National Park is like nothing. Tampa, nothing. So the West Coast is always good, right? Because there's not much water for waves to build up because there's not a reef system. Up in the Vero area, St. Lucie, 2-foot waves from the east. So tomorrow we're looking at good stuff all day. Come Thursday, we're starting to see the waves build up. They're saying 2 foot, but again, we're going to have those winds start kicking into the 10, 12 knot consistency stuff. So, just again, look out and see the reality of it from your resources like your inlet cams and your beach cams and all that. They're saying 2 feet down. They're saying 3 feet from the east. So start getting bumpy and picking up. And as you can see, we got some water movement from the north. But it's not too bad. They're saying 2 foot all day Thursday. So tomorrow and Thursday, still looking good, looking pretty. And then it looks like it starts to pick up come Friday. Friday, we're probably looking at, and still 2 foot from the east at 4 seconds. So you got a very short period, right? So 2 foot waves at a 4 foot period or 4 second period. If the period shortens, the waves get closer. So that's going to be a little bumpy out there, but not too unbearably bad. Down in the Keys, lower Keys, you're looking at See, so they're starting to pick up. Friday afternoon stays about the same. So you're looking at 2 to 3 foot seas all up and down the coast and down in the Keys. You're looking at a little bit of elevated stuff going on. On Saturday, where we're going to start seeing the waves really start to generate, and it's going to be 3 foot seas at a 4-second period. That they're going to have a small craft warning out there, so be wary of that. And that's all up and down the coast. Down into the lower Keys, you're looking at more elevated waves, probably 4 to 5 foot seas. So 2 to 4 up and down the East Coast for the weekend. Not much change Saturday afternoon, Sunday, and they're saying 2 foot seas second period. So again, you have to play it by ear. You never know, it might. And remember, this is a forecast as we get to the week, come Thursday and Friday. The reality of it might be different. So Saturday, Sunday, so they're saying Sunday 2 foot seas. I'm going to say it's going to be made probably a little bit more. Come Monday, it's looking a little lighter. Miami area, we're looking at 1 foot seas. So now down there, come Monday morning, Monday into Tuesday, our wave action kind of dissipate. Here you can see this is what it looks like as this. They're predicting come Monday you're looking at 1 foot seas. So we're going to go Saharan dust will dry it out. We should might be good boating conditions come the beginning of next week. Monday, Tuesday, still 1 foot seas. Biscayne Bay, the Keys, the lower at 2 foot. So by the time the weekend ends, you're looking at better weather heading into next week. 1 foot seas, definitely good and pretty. And we'll say Wednesday, it looks like it will pick up again, but it'll probably be good stuff. All right, let's look at our rain. Right, everybody wants to know if it's going to rain. So let's do tomorrow. Right. So again, Saharan dust is going to come through this weekend. So right now we've got lots of tropical moisture. Again, morning time storms over the ocean, afternoon time storms over the land. And tomorrow they're still going to be around over the ocean in the afternoon too. Thursday, ocean moisture. Thursday afternoon, moisture. This is your typical summer patterns where you get the storms fired up every day in the afternoon. Friday, storms offshore. Friday morning, Friday afternoon, storms onshore. And then the Saharan dust hits Friday, Saturday-ish, which should start drying all this stuff out. Saturday morning, like I said, Saharan dust comes in and keeps that afternoon storm away. Sunday, a little bit of moisture with the Saharan dust doing its thing. Sunday afternoon, not much moisture going on. It's an activity in the atmosphere that's going to keep away the rainstorms. Come Monday, wind starts shifting and the Saharan dust will go away, and we start to see your inshore storm activity start to reappear. Tuesday morning, offshore storms start appearing again. Tuesday afternoon, your onshore moisture kicks up and fires up. So we're back to the typical pattern after this weekend, and I don't think that'll be the end of the Saharan dust. All right, so now we're WindFinder, which is the numeric version of what we just went over. And sometimes I'm going to show you they're going to have some discrepancies with this anyway. Tomorrow, winds from the southeast at steady double digit, mid to high double digits. These are gusts, not very gusty, but about the same, steady 15 miles an hour rain, right? So you see the moisture, and they're saying, so here's where Windy was saying 2 foot seas, they're saying 3 to 4 foot seas at a 5-second period, moisture in the air, waves from the southeast. So we got to describe, we'll have to use your inlet. Check that out. If you are heading out, be safe. Thursday and Friday, winds still from the south, same thing, 13 to 14 knots, miles an hour, whatever you want to say it. Not very gusty at all though, right? Pretty dry is what they're calling for. Cloudy, but dry. Same thing Friday, maybe midday storms. And the Saharan dust, as you can see on Saturday and Sunday. Southeast waves, 3 to 3 foot. So they're calling for 2 to 4 foot seas all these days. Same thing, 5-second period. Again, you have to make that judgment call. Use a couple different resources and get it. They're saying the same thing Saturday through Sunday. Southeast winds, mid to double digits. Cloudy on both days. This is the day of the Saharan dust forming. These waves at 3 to 4 foot seas. Come Monday, same. But they're saying that you're not going to get that break like Wendy was saying come early in the week and into Wednesday. They're saying looking at 2 to 4 foot seas all day, every day, 5-second period. Keep that in mind. All right, let's hit up our moon phase. And I know it's a long one, folks, but we're going to, like I said, when we skip a week, we want to go through everybody's and keep them in the know. Let everybody shine a little bit, right? Love to see your pictures. Thanks for these support. All right. Okay. What? Stop. Okay. Yes, I need an ad blocker right now. All right. Moon phase. Right now, we are at 100%. We're at the full moon today and in between today and tomorrow, right? We're waxing. So waxing means you're heading towards the full moon. Waning means you're heading away from the full moon to the dark side of it. So right now, tonight, today, tomorrow, we're at the full moon. On a couple days before, a couple days after is always prime time for wahoo fishing. They feed off cycle, water flow, it affects their feeding habits, right? So affects when you got a bright moon, a couple other things happen. Your pelagic fish, like your dolphin and tuna, are eating light. They can see the fish. They got something to help them track them down other than just sight and taste, smell. They can see them literally when the moon's illuminated. Also, your bait fishing is horrible when you've got a full moon. You need no moon. You can get things like goggle eyes and very fit. So just bear that in mind. Tomorrow we're looking at the full moon. Thursday which means we start to head away from the full moon. So 98%. That's Thursday, Friday. 95% Saturday, 89 Sunday, 82. So, as you head into the weekend, if you get out there and you got a bigger vessel or fish or whatever, and you can get out on the water and do it, will be, that if you're into the wahoo bite. Remember, wahoo show up in June, so don't be shy to fish for them. Those couple of days and into early next week, you could probably give it a shot. Monday, 73%, and Tuesday, 63%. So towards next weekend, we'll be closer to the darker side of the moon. If the weather gives in, the pelagic fishing for your tuna and your will be better than when the moon is fully illuminated. When the moon's darker, the bait fish come out. That's why the bait fishermen go after them, because they're not spooked. They're not sitting ducks and easy prey to be picked off. And then again, the pelagics feed more during the day when you've got a darker moon because they can see them and they're not eating all night. So that's our moon phase, right, folks? Good to go. All right, now for the last thing, let's look at our tide charts. See if the tide's on your side. Tide charts are very important for fishing out of the inlets, right? And you need an outgoing tide to fish an inlet, especially if you're a jetty fisherman. I can't tell you this weekend as I'm heading out of the inlet, it's a incoming tide, and I see people fishing from the jetty. You're not going to catch nothing. You got to fish the outgoing tide. What happens? The outgoing tide pushes all the sediments, the phytoplankton, the microorganisms, the chlorophyll, pushes everything out of the rushing section of water flow from the inlet. The little fish come in and they eat all that goodness, and then the big fish come in and eat them. That is the cycle. Is how an inlet works. Whether you're fishing for it from the jetty, from land, whether you're fishing out, jigging, drifting for mutton snapper, anchored up for yellowtail, whatever you might be doing, right, folks? Even if you're trolling past it, using that water flow to look for the pelagics, they will be there, but you got to have it on the right cycle, right? And then again, it also matters if it's during the morning hours and during the evening hours. if you've got like right here, let's like tomorrow, you've got a outgoing tide in the middle, that doesn't work. Go and do something else. So right now we've got our cycles of incoming tides during the morning and during the afternoon. Doesn't work. And again, tide cycles go in 6-hour floats. 6 hours in, 6 hours out. It's a 12-hour cycle. All right. So we're about 2/3 of the way of the outgoing tide, coming to the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, at the beginning of the outgoing tide. I mean, the incoming tide. I'm sorry. Outgoing tide is in the middle of the day. So this week is a wash for using cycle and fishing the flow from the inlets. Next week it'll be better. It'll cycle 1 week on, 1 week off. So that's our tide. All right, folks. For our fishing report, before we head off, if you're in the market for fishing apparel, I just want to invite you to come check out our sponsor, WindRider. Look out. You can get yourself a South Florida saltwater fishing PF 50 shirts where you don't need. They got all sorts of them. They got shirts that are just long sleeve shirts, no hood, no nothing, logo on the front, on the back. You can support the brand. You know, let me know you're out there. Send me a picture of it. Love seeing people wearing the shirts, especially when they post their week with them. You know, and again, they got them with the gator build. This specific one. And again, comes with the South Florida saltwater fishing logo. It's great stuff. This is not a fly-by-night company. I've been with them for a couple of years now. The shirts, they keep you cool in the summer. They keep you warm in the winter. If you get them wet. And another great thing is that they are fairly resistant. So if you get blood all over them from getting the mahi in the boat and the fish is flopping over and the blood goes everywhere, which it will, go home, spray a little spray and wash on it, throw it in the bucket, leave it there, take it out, it'll look darn near brand new. So, you know, if you're in market for some fishing apparel, give it a shot. Check it out. Just check it out and see if it's up your alley. I know you look at the prices and it might seem pricey. All is all about the same price. If you go with a more major brand, let's say like Salt Life, Pelagic, Hook, one of those brands, you're gonna pay upwards of $60 for those. But hey, it's, you know, dealer's choice. I urge you, hey, check it out, support the brand. Love seeing people go for it. All right, before we head off, folks, we're on Facebook. I just want to ask you, join South Florida Saltwater Report Fishing. You go on, you type in Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. It's a private group. You have to answer 2 questions to become part of it. What's your favorite fish and do you agree to the rules? The rules are simple. No soliciting, no harassing people, no YouTube videos. I support all this stuff. You know, I support local charter captains, Jim, 4J's Charters. We got Neil, PalmBeachCharters.net out of Palm Beach. We've got, you know, Starlight 101. That's the drift boat that heads out of Pompano. Emily periodically posts stuff on here. And it's great that these, you know, charter keep in touch and let everyone.